has many aspects and nuances to it. One of the positive implications as India moves towards a less cash economy is perhaps a more digital economy. And that's why we've been speaking to a whole host of people in India's digital economy. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome today Sanjay Sethi, co-founder and CEO of Shopclues. Mr. Sethi, thanks very much for joining us on NDTV. So, there's no doubting what a big move this is by the government on demonetization. There's also a big impact on the real economy as well. You're a big proponent of the digital economy. What would you say right now?
So Manvi, thanks for having me here, and you are absolutely right. It is a watershed moment for India. I think 5, 10, 15 years from now, I think we'll all look back to this date, this year, which will be by no means. I think it will be seen as a turning point and an inflection point, if you will. I think what is great about this is that this demonetization has come on the backs of the infrastructure that has been ongoing and solidifying for last 2-3 years. Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, mobile, all of this infrastructure is available today. Mobile penetration is at its highest now, and what happens is that if you have an environment which is very conducive, the regression will be very little. I'm not suggesting that 30 days from now or 60 days from now, some regression will not happen. Of course, it will happen, but we will definitely be, our baseline of being cashless economy will be much higher than it was before 8th.
One figure suggests that 98% of consumption transactions are in cash, and they're not all black. I'm asking you a question, which is, as we march towards this digital future, is India's current digital backbone strong enough, widespread enough to handle this massive transition?
So Manvi, I think by no means I'm arguing that every cash transaction is part of the parallel economy, so to speak. Cash has its conveniences, and by no means I'm suggesting when I say cashless, there's no need for cash at all in the economy. I think what is important to realize is that let's just think it through a little bit. I am not expecting any magic happening. I think patience will be very important. But here is what I am thinking. I was growing up in the decades of 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. No matter who you talk to, the mindset was always somehow that our population has become the biggest is the biggest weakness. And what is very interesting is that today that narrative is changing. Our population has become our largest strength. The inclusion, the financial inclusion of the common man, the economic inclusion of the common man into the mainstream economy of the country. How do you do it? I mean, the only way you do it is when you digitize them. So I'm a proponent of digitization. Cash is one of the factors in it. A country can very easily sustain 20 to 30% cash economy rather than 90% cash economy. And I think that transition has to happen sometime. And now is better than any other time. Work will teach us how to do it.
I want to take your experience, and each of these individual corporate experiences can be, used to draw a national picture. What has Shopclues experienced, since demonetization was announced? What's really changed in the past week?
So many things happened, right? I think the immediate impact was really, first it was disbelief, realized that it has happened. But once the reality of the situation struck, what we saw was that first 2 days were anxiety. People were anxious. There was no liquidity in the market. Cash was not available. A 100 rupee note was more valuable than 100 rupees. I think after that euphoria kind of settles down, what you see is our top lines are recovering. They are going back to, they are still lower than normal, but they have recovered more than 50%. And the shift has gone primarily towards prepaid transactions, that is online transactions. But what is most interesting really is that like I said, Shopclues has about 500,000 merchants, 5 lakh merchant hai. These 5 lakh merchants, they are, there is a dramatic acceleration in their usage of digital solutions to scale their businesses. I think this is where what excites me the most. This is because Indian economy is going to grow on the backs of our merchants, our retailers, our manufacturers, and as they start adopting digitization, they are better able to scale. If these small merchants and retailers scale, the country scales.
I wanted to hear what you'd have to say to people who've been standing in lines. They're waiting for limited cash. In fact, the amount of cash that's available, at least for exchange, has become even more limited. What would you say which is real and practical about the benefits of this move, apart from be patient? We've heard a lot of that.
So, Manvi, I can tell you, I don't have, we have to be real here. I think the pain is real. The long lines are real. We've all seen it. It is, and thank God it is not June and July. It is slightly, the weather has been a little kind. And by no means I'm going to justify or even, I think we could have been better prepared. There's no doubt about it. I will not go back and say, even though this is a very good step and important, I think our preparation can be taken to the completely different level. I'm not suggesting that we have to do it, but maintenance of essential security, maintenance of essential services could be implemented. Schools, colleges, as the kind of preparation you do when you are going into an election, those kind of government machinery can be brought to bear here to ease the pain. The pain is not going to go away, but if you can shorten the duration, I think it will be very important. I understand there are challenges, practical challenges, technical challenges, but I don't see this ending very quickly if the entire machinery of our government machinery is not brought to bear on this. So I would definitely urge that to happen. The common man, I mean, really, what can you do? You have to be. It's like it's raining outside. You could wish it is not raining, but really, you and I can't do much about it. It is raining. You get a raincoat.
Well put. Sanjay Sethi, co-founder and CEO at Shopclues, many thanks for your time here on NDTV.
Thanks very much, Manvi. Appreciate it.